Hi, we're Jared and Lori Funk from the Fantastic Funks, and we are sharing the tips and tricks that we've learned traveling to national parks with a family of 6 and a wheelchair. So we have 4 kids, ages 11, twins who are 9, and then a 4-year-old, and Jared is the one who uses a wheelchair. We're going to be talking today about Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. So we only had a few hours to do Mesa Verde. We were driving from our home in Arizona to, we stopped at Four Corners, and then we also did Mesa Verde in the same day. So,
and we wanted to get to Moab.
And we were trying to get to Moab that night. So we only had like really 2 or 3 hours to do Mesa Verde. So our experience was different than maybe if you had a whole day to do it. But regardless, it was a great visit, and we're glad we made the stop. So we chose to do the Mesa Top Loop. This was supposed to be a more accessible section. There was another area that you could do that we didn't even hit, but it was a huge park. It took us at least 20 minutes to get all the way to the Mesa Top Loop, I felt like.
So you first get there, and the visitor center is like right there.
Yeah.
Like before you even pay to get in, you can get to the visitor center.
Yeah.
Great visitor center, looked very new, updated, totally accessible. And then you drive that 20 minutes, and you're going up a mountain.
Yeah.
Like it's steep up there, it's sharp turns, switchbacks and everything. So some of the kids were a little nervous, but
and it was like the sky was overcast and it looked like it was gonna rain, and
it rained off and on.
It did rain on our way back a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so cool drive to get to the Mesa Top Loop. But
to see yourself basically raise an elevation, then there's a couple lookouts where you're like, whoa, like we're up here.
Yeah.
And as a guy who doesn't love heights, I don't even look. I'm just looking at the road.
So that was fun. So we stopped at the Mesa Verde Museum first, and we were there almost at closing time. I think it's an older museum. It looked like it was under renovations. There was a lot of spots that were closed off and stuff. So I'm not sure when that's going to be done, but I'm sure it'll be nice and new once they finish that. But we were able to talk to the rangers, and they got the kids their junior ranger badges. And then because we were going to be we weren't going to be able to be done with the park and back to the ranger station in time before they closed, they deputized me and gave me the junior
temporary
ranger
deputy. Yeah.
So they gave me the junior ranger badges to do so that I could check off the kids' work pages that they did, and so that was fun.
And that whole area, like they have a cafe. I think there's hotels in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a post office there. Like I was surprised how much stuff there was there.
Ranger housing, I think.
Yeah. So like anyway, we really quick were there because they were about to close, and then we went.
So we did the Mesa Verde Museum first, and then right next to the museum there is the Spruce Tree House overlook, or not overlook, the Spruce Tree House. You used to be able to go like down this winding path and go down to the Spruce Tree House. I think most of the pathway has been closed for like 10 years or something, like a long time, because of instability of the rocks and stuff. But you can go down a little part of the way. This spot, from a
paved.
Wheelchair perspective, it was paved, but it was very steep.
So steep.
I was having to hold the back of Jared's chair just so he wasn't going careening down.
I put 1 foot down as a brake. I had my gloves on to brake, and she was holding me. And I mean, this is where it's just like it's paved, so let's do it. But like we were halfway down. I'm like, this was stupid.
Yeah,
like I shouldn't
really
have done this.
So Jared just kind of parked at this one spot right before the closure spot. You have a view of the Spruce Tree House, and
which is a great view.
Very good view. And there's like this rock, and then there's like a bench on the rock, and so the kids were working on their little workbooks there, junior ranger workbooks, and then Jared was kind of like off to the side because he couldn't get onto the rock anyway. But then it was also very steep, and so he was kind of like angling himself so he wouldn't go like down the hill. And so that was an interesting.
Getting
spot.
back up was.
That was
fun.
a great calf workout for me after sitting in the car for 7 hours.
I even had my motor and was trying to get back up, and even then I needed help.
Yeah,
it was
very
really
steep.
So just
so if you're doing it as a wheelchair user, maybe go with somebody that you need help that can help you. But that was a cool spot. And then right next to that is the chief ranger's office, and then behind that there's this like porch that you can easily access, and that was a great view. We should have just probably done that.
I think the woman in the museum, I remember her mentioning it. And I thought, honestly, that trail led to the porch, and didn't realize we passed it and we're way far gone.
Yeah.
But that porch was awesome. Perfect view.
Yeah. It was a little bit steep to get to, but the path wasn't nearly as long as the other one.
Yeah.
So I did have to help Jared up that incline, but once you get on the porch, it's like flat and it's just like covered, and you have this perfect view of the Spruce Tree House. It was a great spot.
And we basically had it to ourselves, which was nice. I think because we got there so late in the afternoon and everything, we had it to ourselves.
And then our youngest finished his pages because he had the least amount of pages to do. So we helped him finish his pages, and that's where I was able to give him his badge and swear him in for being a junior ranger. So that was fun. So that was what we did in that spot. And then the next spot we stopped was the Square Tower House.
Completely paved.
Yeah.
Definitely some steep, but nothing like that first one.
Completely paved and
but
good parking.
I thought you put, because so the way we do this is like Lori will get my wheelchair set up for me in the back of the car and then bring it to me and I get in it. And a lot of times I'll be like, yeah, put my motor on, or no, I don't need my motor. And I thought I said put the motor on.
You did.
But she didn't. And so
well, we're dealing with kids whining
Right.
and all this stuff, and so I'm just like frazzled, and I
And we've
bring
been
him his
driving all
wheelchair,
day.
and we've been driving all day.
So like I'm going up a hill, I have my watch on that controls the motor, and I'm you double tap to get it to go, and it's not going. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm starting to roll backwards.
It's glitchy a little bit sometimes
It is
too.
glitchy.
So we're just like, oh, it's being glitchy again.
Except you're taking the video watching me do
I know.
this from behind. And then it took a while, it took until we got to the square tower to be like, my motor's not on. So I was double tapping.
I was like,
the
oh,
whole
your motor's
time.
being glitchy, and I had never put it on. So anyway.
That was fun, but
It
the
was a long day.
view was great.
The view was great.
Able to get right there up to the fence.
And you kind of have to like look off to the side and see it, but it's amazing the way they built these dwellings. It's crazy.
Crazy. It's super impressive.
Yeah,
Like,
and that it stood for this amount of time. It's
Right.
nuts. But so that was a cool stop. And then a lot of the stops have like the the parallel parking type of handicap spots, which is nice because you don't have to parallel park to get in them. Usually you can drive right in, but they're like the sideways, like parallel with the curb. But there are lots of handicap parking, and like a lot of these spots are paved.
Mm-hmm.
So the next spot we stopped was the Pithouses and Villages. There's actually quite a few of them you can stop at, but we just chose one. They all had pretty good parking, and those are all completely paved and mostly flat.
Mostly flat, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, purposely, I didn't even put my motor on it.
Yeah.
For that.
So you just go right in, and the pit houses are covered by this big like gazebo thing, and you just can see the pit houses. They're all blocked off, obviously, but you can see them easily. And so that was our 4-year-old wasn't super. He was done by this point because we'd been in the car all day, and stopping and getting out and getting in a lot was too much. But the rest of us enjoyed that. That was a nice place to stop. And then that's really the only places we stopped. We stopped at a couple like just off the road spots. You can just see the dwellings or whatever it is from the road. But we didn't really make any other big stops because we didn't have a ton of time. So.
Right. But it was like, it makes you think, it's just like, wow, like these people, hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago, were making this, and it's very impressive.
And I feel like if you're in a wheelchair, you could easily go to Mesa Verde and have a good experience. You don't have to be able to hike necessarily to be able to see a lot of the cool stuff. The national parks have done a really good job of making everything accessible. So.
Right. And then it's that drive down, very steep drops, but it was good. It's pretty.
Yeah. So that's Mesa Verde.